So this guy, by the way, the only thing you need to do to get this body is you just have to eat raw bull dicks. And if you eat raw bull dicks, you're gonna look just like him.
Some very interesting news came to light that involves a very popular fitness influencer whom I'm sure you've all seen at some point, the Liver King. He's most known for his videos
I think Liver King is hilarious. I love him.
eating raw meat, raw organs, raw
Yeah.
testicles, even, which goes so hard. And he preaches the ancestral primal way of living.
Let's see, what is it? Sleep, eat, move, shield, connect, cold, sun, fight, bond. Okay. I wonder what shield is. Like, this is the one I'm not really sure about.
And says that you can achieve his ungodly physique, and his body does look like something straight out of Dragon Ball Z or
Yeah, I mean, the guy's in really great shape. Like, regardless whether you want to say it's ab implants or anything like that, all I'm saying is, like, the end result, yeah, obviously, he looks like a fucking badass.
Baki the Grappler. He says you can achieve that 100% naturally by following his 9 tenets. And he is also a very successful businessman. He has tons of companies under his belt that
Yep.
he claims makes him over $100 million a year.
That's a lot of money.
And just a couple days ago, much like my ass after eating spicy food, a big leak happened.
What is it?
Emails between the Liver King and a coach that he was turning to for some advice have now hit the public eye. And these emails indicate some juice usage here, and some pretty expensive juicing at that, which completely goes against everything he preaches because he vehemently defends his body being natural. He has said millions of times now across tons of podcasts, his own content, saying he has never touched this stuff and never would. He is 100% natural.
Is that true? I'm trying to think if because usually every time I've seen him address it, he's always talked around it. That's true. Okay, I haven't seen every single Liver King interview. Okay, I've seen like 4. That's about it. He said that on Rogan. Well, there you go. All right.
But now we have a lot of evidence to suggest that that's completely false and just a blatant lie. Now, this is
I feel like this email, like, I mean, bro, who the fuck actually thought it was natural? Like, I mean, who really thought eating dry bull dicks or uncooked bull dicks, this is what's going to turn you into a Baki character? It's not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, really, kids, yeah.
the least shocking news you've ever heard because anyone with eyes should be able to look at the Liver King's body and immediately deduce that this is not a naturally achievable physique in any universe. And especially not for someone of his age, mid-40s, he'd have to have had genetics gifted straight from Mount Olympus.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Most fitness...
And that's why everybody liked it, though. Is like, I mean, the dude, obviously... Bro, this is some straight up fucking 300 level physique. Absolutely.
Professionals have called him out over the years saying that he's juiced to the gills. And I mean, just look at him. Like, I could swim in his veins. They're so fucking huge. Jesus. Like, this man has more sauce in his body than a Chick-fil-A. Even when he's sitting down, just look at his abs. His six-pack is more defined than 4K television, and they have more depth than a Game of Thrones season. It's beyond me how anyone ever believed that his body was naturally achieved. It's been very clear and has been called out many times that he is absolutely on the gear, but a lot of people just wanted to believe in the teachings and hope that they could get something similar. But really,
I feel like, I mean, yeah, there's probably... The thing is, like, what was he saying? It's like, I actually don't think the idea of, like, going out, being physical... and trying to, you know, eat less processed foods and live a more natural life. I think this is in general a good thing. But, yeah, the dude is definitely not fucking natural.
realistically, the only way you get a body similar to the Liver King's is if you somehow get chosen for the Captain America Super Serum or start cycling some very heavy-duty stuff here. Now, what you're looking at here is everything that Liver King said he'd been taking. This is part of the emails with the coach, and if you want a more in-depth breakdown of what all of this is, More Plates, More Dates, which is the channel that broke all of this, goes into very good detail
this is
about
like way
what all
longer,
this
right?
is. So you can see there is a lot that he's taking here. And
Yeah, like this is the whole video. So if you guys want to watch this one, this is what really goes through every single thing about it. And like this guy is obviously, he's been a fitness content creator for fucking ever. So yeah, if you want to watch this one, this is going to have, we're not going to watch the hour-long video, okay? But yeah.
And from what I've read, this comes around to about $15,000 a month worth of these enhancements, these unnatural enhancements to get him his body. And I want to be clear here, I'm not just
like that would scare the fuck out of me, man. $15,000. Like the thing is, to me, like I feel like I hit my quota with unhealthy behavior just with soda. Like I go out, I'm physical semi-regularly, not enough, but I'm physical semi-regularly. I don't overeat. I don't do a lot of other things, but I do drink soda. And I could not imagine putting $15,000 a month of things into your body. That's so scary to me.
vilifying anyone who uses steroids or anything to help them achieve their fitness goals. I think that's totally within their own right as a personal choice that they make. Yes, of course, it's dangerous, but it's their choice. And
it's their body. If he wants to pump it full of fucking steroids and look like he's the last boss in a fighting game, that's his decision. The same as it's the decision of these fucking 700-pound people that have to be like picked up by a crane to take them to the hospital, right? Like, yeah, of course.
To stop them from doing that, if they get medical supervision, of course, that's going to help. The problem that I have here, as well as many other people, is that he's selling a lie. He's blatantly lying, saying that what I have achieved is naturally achievable if you just follow my 9 ancestral tenets, none of which contributed to the HGH that he was boofing up his fucking asshole here to get him these incredible results.
Yeah, this is the new trend, guys. It's these internet dads. These internet dads that will tell you that all you need to do to become a real man is to follow their 5 courses that you have to buy on their website and, you know, go to their seminars and buy. Like, there are so many of these. Yeah, tan your balls, eating raw meat, like jogging at 4 in the morning, all of this bullshit.
Like, none of that
so boring.
Is what he is selling. He's not selling any of these steroids. He's selling
by now.
Hopium.
If you want to be a top king, if you want unlimited access to cars, money, and if you want to find your queen, then you have to fuel your efforts with ancestral supplements, liver, beef organs, and bone marrow with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because liver is king. And you already know, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, always going to have a whole feast protein shake.
This is a clip from more.
Yep, that's just about right. And the thing is, like, people, they go and they buy this stuff because there's a lot of guys, here's the truth. There's a lot of guys that look like I do, okay? Like, they're skinny. Like, I'm a really skinny guy. There are some good things I have going for me. Like, I'm tall, well, that's actually about it. And so, yeah. And they feel bad about the way they look, and they see these guys on the internet, and that's about that. They want to be like that. They want to do that. And so if these guys are selling them a fantasy, these are the people who believe that they think that if they get in good shape, they're going to get a bunch of girls. Like, it's going to solve their problems. Like, every problem in their life is going to be solved if they look like he does. So yeah, of course they're going to buy it.
Plates More Dates, who made an amazing breakdown on this entire situation that I highly recommend. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. But I wanted to show you one of his advertisements for some of his brands here. And I just feel like this is super scummy because he's making it sound like these supplements, you know, are really helpful to getting you jacked like me, the Liver King, whose nipples could probably shoot milk fucking 50 yards away with how big my pecs are. Like, he's making it seem like he got huge from these things, and now he's revealing these secrets and selling them to you so you can get big and strong like him. But that's not really the whole story, clearly. It seems like he had a lot of help from an old human growth hormone over here. It's not really the supplements he's selling that worked for him. it's the goddamn HGH and everything else that he was taking. So it just seems like he's selling all of these dietary supplements knowing full well they're not exactly necessary, and it seems like it's done just to squeeze a couple extra dollars out of his audience here. But
that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. And yes, I don't think that it's really a big deal if he wants to lie about everything, but the moment you actually start charging money for this kind of stuff, and then you're like, oh, give me money and I'll give you this thing, and the implication is that this thing will make you look like me, this is, yeah, that's snake oil shit. Like, nah, bro, we're not about that at all.
I don't think everything he's done or said is harmful. Of course, all of the raw meat eating shit is pretty dangerous. Like, that's not optimal. That's not good advice to just go out there and eat fucking raw meat. Like, you should, especially not raw testicles. I don't think anyone should be listening to the Liver King and start panicking like, holy shit, I want to get huge biceps and a fucking bulging turtle shell six-pack. I'm going to go run outside right now and skin a squirrel and eat the balls off of it raw. Like, none of that.
I'm not a health expert, but I would assume that's true. Yeah, it's probably bad.
I think is good advice, of course, and of course, none of his like primal stuff really matters. Like, your mindset of being a primal man's not going to all of a sudden make you jacked or anything. No. But he does give just like wholesome life advice, which I suppose could be motivational.
No, this is what all of them do. The thing is that you're not a good bullshit artist. You're not a good snake oil salesman if you don't also sprinkle in good advice too at the same time. So, of course he's good at giving good advice, because you have to give some good advice, because then that reels him in, and then you get him to buy the supplements. That's what happens.
Or inspirational to some people that need to hear those things.
Yeah.
About like having a more positive frame of mind and a positive approach to living life and making time for yourself and having fun, which is all very cliche and not exactly profound stuff, but he does sprinkle those things in, which is just generally decent advice, like making sure you're taking care of your mentality first and foremost, and not just for gains, but for the sake of just better overall living.
Yeah,
like, all of that advice, I think, is fine. It's more so when he gets into this stuff where he's, of course, blatantly hiding that he does have a past of using steroids and is very much still on those unnatural boosters and pretending he's not. All of that is a big problem, and all of the stuff he seems to be selling, of course, isn't necessary, and it's not like the key to getting big in the first place. Maybe it helps some people, but it's not
well, look, you think about it like this. Is everybody in the NFL using this? No? Well, then why are steroids? Okay, so steroids are banned. Oh, that's probably what works then. Because it's banned. Yeah. Yeah, you just think about it logically.
Exactly as he's advertising it. Now, when it's all said and done, I'm sure there's a lot of people in his audience, a lot of his fans, that probably don't care and probably always knew that he was on gear, and they'll probably still follow the ancestral way of living he preaches because maybe they like it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the ancestral shit he talks about, like sleeping on a goddamn block of wood or being afraid of white.
Well, to be fair, I actually, I pretty much sleep like this. I've had the same bed for like 20 years. It's fine. No changes necessary.
Wi-Fi signals in the house and shit like that. I think that's all just super silly stuff. He became huge in the first place because of his over-the-top raw meat eating and his wild physique. People wanted to look like him because he looks like an absolutely jacked Radagast the Brown.
Well, it's very simple. If Liver King looked like me or Charlie does, do you think that he would be popular? No. Okay. There we go. Simple question.
From Lord of the Rings. So people
Charlie shredded. I know. I saw a picture of Charlie actually on Twitter, and it made me I was really impressed. I was very surprised. It was like 6 months ago, a year ago. I was like, what the fuck, right? Because like I never even noticed that. Absolutely. But like, there's like me, and then there's Charlie, and like that's a big difference, right? I would say, like, with physique. And then there's like one other person that's above him, another person that's above that guy, another person that's above that guy, and then after that you get to the last boss, which is Liver King. Okay? Like, let's be fucking honest. Like, the difference between, like, me and him is, like, not really that big. The difference between, like, Liver King and either of us is fucking massive.
His program under the assumption that if they follow the ancestral tenets, maybe buy from his other companies that all filter from the Liver King overall brand, maybe they too could look like him. But now that this information has come to light, it's clear that what he has achieved with his own body is only replicatable if you also start cycling that kind of juice.
Oh, of course.
Not from following his program or taking his bone marrow supplements. Now, he has had somewhat of a response to this information coming out, but it's a pretty confusing one. According to the Daily Beast, his response was, in a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated as fuck topic. He then followed it up by humbly requesting that podcasts have him on to discuss his lifestyle, and then says, I model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called ancestral living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer so we can collectively express our highest and...
ABC, gentlemen. Always be selling. ABC.
most dominant form. This is my fight. So it really doesn't say much of anything. Just drops a fucking nothing burger on the plate, and that meat is raw. Like there's nothing here. He doesn't really give any information. It seems like he once again wants to squeeze clout out of this situation by openly asking to go on podcasts, which he's made a habit.
I really, there's part of me that kind of hopes that Liver King gets through this. I really want to know what the next episode is going to be.
Out of. He's been on more podcasts than anyone I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Any podcast you can think of off the top of your head, like maybe your local college campus podcast, he's probably been on it. Like he has been on everything because he openly says, anytime people are talking about me, it's a good thing. Whether it's negative or positive, like there was a whole conspiracy about him potentially having ab implants.
Oh, yeah.
He says, you know what, that's great too, if people are talking about me. So he wants as much attention as possible, always has, and even in this situation here, is looking to capitalize off it for the sake of publicity.
Absolutely.
So I guess maybe when he does go on his next podcast, we'll have more information on his side of things, but as of right now, we don't have a whole lot from him to go off of. But we do have a lot of evidence that I do think is reputable. I don't see a lot of wiggle room for that being fake. I trust the source.
Nah, if it was fake, he'd have straight up come out and said it was fake. Yeah, he'd have just come out and be like, that's bullshit, it's fake. So, yeah, no, it's not fake.
I think More Plates, More Dates is very reliable when it comes to information like this, and he delivers a very in-depth look at all of it. Again, I can't recommend his video enough if you're interested in this topic. So, yeah, I just wanted to go over this because I've talked about Liver King quite a bit. And I will say, while More Plates, More Dates has convinced me Liver King doesn't have ab implants, I full-heartedly believe he has had ab etching. At the very least, ab etching done. It makes no fucking sense to me how he's able to have such a defined six-pack bulging, bursting from his skin, even while sitting down. That doesn't make sense. It looks like the top of a fucking grill at all times. It looks like it's made out of actual steel. Like, there's just no way. And, of course, now it seems like he's been on quite a bit of juice for a while now. But even with that, there's still just no way those abs would work that way. It just makes no sense.
That's nuts.
But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this topic a little bit, and that's about it. See ya.
Wow. Let me link you guys the video. Obviously, let me make sure it's paused. Okay, yeah, there we go. Obviously, we know Charlie here, but holy fuck, the Liver King's he's only 17 years old. Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, this is where internet takes over. HGH makes your organs grow, all of them, so you get roid belly. It's all muscle, not fat, but it bulges. I mean, I don't know what the fuck it is, man. I think that, listen, this is where I think it comes from. Is the dude natural? No. I think that, like, it doesn't really matter, like, oh, well, this isn't necessarily for this situation. It is actually for this other thing. And so it's really not the same thing as steroids. But it's like, but then why is he spending $15,000 on it, you know? Like, of course. And, wow. You don't do HGH, you get a big bulging belly with abs like that? I have no fucking idea. Here's the thing. I think it's obviously scummy if the dude goes around and he's selling his physique and his lifestyle, and he says, if you want to have something like this, if you want to sell, you know, he's trying to sell this as like, oh yeah, do this and you'll be like me, whenever he's actually secretly on over $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 worth of stuff. That's what sucks.